microtransactions, gambling loot boxes, paid cosmetics, by the year 2016, these things were so rampant and common, I bet some of you still think they are acceptable. But then came Doom. And 4 years later, it's back! With these horrible monetary practices by so many companies out there making our favorite games, I still can't believe that the game like Doom or Doom Eternal even exists. No microtransactions, no subscriptions, no gambling, just pure unadulterated fun! But now tell me, what makes a game okay? What makes a good game? And what does it take to have a great one? Well, in a way or two, I can answer all of these, but you know, I struggle with Doom Eternal. It's simply so near perfect, only 2016 Doom I would call better outright. And you know, that's where my issues begin. Where to start? Where to start? Make motherfucking God Gordon, thanks to your music and its dominating presence during gameplay. Both Dooms are truly exceptional. And you know, as I was streaming during the launch day, wouldn't you know it? Yeah. Hey. Wait, Mick Gordon? Wait, hold on. Creator of the music in the chats? No. Hey. Seriously? Well, hello? Oh my god, holy shit, dude. Thank you. First of all, absolutely thank you, if you're still watching, and, You see, with movies they say that the music and audio is about 70% of the enjoyment. Well, up until now for games, the music and audio work was about 10 to 20%, with some exceptions. But my fucking gods, what happens when that one amazing riff track hits at the right moment? You can't but to be captivated, inspired, and more so, compelled to kill! Doom truly elevated the gameplay with music to a new level where both games would never be even remotely as revered as they are without the music. Yes, there are games with spectacular sound effects, and this is where actually both Dooms have failed for the most part. Yet you don't care. All you want to do, all you ever want to do, is make music through inflicting as much pain and suffering onto demons as possible. Your guns are your musical instruments. And because you have good motivation to keep going, the gameplay must perform. And it does. Unlike your typical FPS game where more tactical or methodical or patient gameplay is required, in Doom, if you stop, you die. Playing 2016 Doom on the highest difficulty will quickly teach you that enemies have near pinpoint accuracy, even enemies that use projectiles, and that aiming is no easy feat to code, so mad props to AI coders, especially for the Imp AI. I love it! But now in Doom Eternal you get an extra dashing abilities, where in 2016 you only had the double jump. And my god, the action is even faster! Just look at this! And this is on the hardest difficulty, just to survive. Yet the weirder thing, I got used to this dashing and dodging quite quickly. Only after reviewing my footage I realized, how did I even follow what was going on? But I did, and the feeling that your character has no stupid delays before doing something, weirdly makes it feel more natural. Also, not only your movement is free, but the ledge grabs and the new additions like the wall grabs and those pipe swings creates that rare FPS game in which the platforming is not complete shit. Then with all this mayhem, weapons are a big part too, and you can feel that the game wants you to use everything at your disposal to leave the most sophisticated abstract art painting behind. But there is a flip side to that, and I'll talk about it later. Back in 2016, I hated that you could not reload weapons. It made no sense to me. But once you realize, this is not a game about tactics. This is about you in a room with 27 demons and about 60 seconds to repaint the room as red as possible. Once you realize it, oh god, it's so fun! And the fun does not end there. The little details make it ever so better. Like the best little detail, the itty bitty little thing of
Dark Glory kills.
Back in 2016, these animations were the cherry on top of the blood cake. Not only they were put in to have the little extra flair, but also were important to keep you alive. With every glory kill you regain a bit of health, so that not only do you have a gruesome jaw realignment close-up for fun, but also that'd be a crucial part of continued malpractice in tactical pelvis and spine relocation that we call gameplay. With Doom Eternal, not only you get some of the old ones, but a few really good new ones. And that just makes me happy. This is where the original was perfect and you just needed to add to it. Though I did notice that not all animations were ported over. Still, the visuals, the detail, the gruesome entrails and satanic stuff slowly but surely crept onto the scene with 2016 Doom. The visuals so striking and rich. It was not only beautiful, but also very clearly fun. Yes, the visuals were really fun and clearly over the top. The game looked like the artists were going completely ham and it paid off so much. You could feel that someone had the best time crafting levels and models. The same and even more came with Eternal. And by the Satan's ballsack, the one thing that 2016 lacked was the grand views. And right off the bat, Doom Eternal just slams your field of vision with gigantic hellish nightmarescape of scorched post-demon invasion Earth, and it's so gorgeous! I constantly stopped at my first playthrough to just look around. These big mechs you can see at the start and further down the line, the exploded Mars chunks in the orbit. This time round, the one thing that was lacking, a grand vista, was finally added to a grand success. But let's not forget the detail. The weapon designs all are way better than 2016, especially the shotgun. Man, I hated the look of 2016 shotgun. All those soft edges just made it look like a child's toy and not a brutality and pellet spreading boomstick. Now, of course, this is not to say that 2016 does not have any good looking guns. I mean, you won't hear me shut up about how much I want to hump my Gauss cannon, but take note, while 2016 gun design was basically a futuristic one, here in Eternal, the first two are more modern-looking human weapons, then you get a few futuristic ones, then the old-school double barrel with a motherfucking meat hook that only adds to your movement if you know how to use it. After that, a demon-like ballista and rocket launcher, and an angel unmaker. It's like the weapon visuals represent portions of the game levels and worlds, and that's a great detail. Oh, and I almost forgot, the Gore! So, what is better than a glory kill? Well, nothing really, but close second was the addition of the goring effect and ripped flesh from your enemy bodies. The detail and look is so amazing, I only wish more games would do it. I mean, the Hell Knights attacking you and you pumping them full of bullets makes for a true extreme makeover. As for the performance, I have to say your 7th engine is a monster. I already loved the 2016 Doom for how wonderful it looked paired with astonishing performance while using Vulkan Graphics API. But now to release the updated engine with not only great performance measurement feature, but also to up the max frame rate to 1000 frames, well, I have a feeling that Eternal will be used for testing countless PCs. Seeing the frame times for CPU and GPU separate is such a cool thing. I only wish more games would do that. But putting aside the PC Master Race fanboying, Doom is one of the rare few games that runs on Vulkan primarily, and I'm all for open standards, and id to take a side in this lockdown nonsense is great to see. This also means that thanks to Vulkan, I have a feeling that we may see this game be ported for decades to come. Regardless, despite running my Threadripper, which for gaming is an average CPU, Doom never dipped below 100 frames. So my friends, get your high refresh rate monitors, cause guess what? You will need them for both Dooms. Oh, and what would be a great game without some good collectibles, secrets and the like? Well, while 2016 had those small cute figurines, Eternal goes out far beyond the Call of Duty and puts in these amazingly looking fantastic minis of each enemy type. And oh my god, I want one! And sure enough, because of how cool they were, I literally replayed all missions to collect them all. Now that's how you do great collectibles. But that's not all. You see, music is such an important part of Doom that it also gives you these cool quote-unquote albums as collectibles too, where each of them is a music track from old id games. My personal favorite to this day is still the absolutely sinister and amazing Doom 3 track. And then you listen to a few other older tracks too. You hear that some of them use rather bad instruments or have low quality, but you can still hear a little bit of that badass feel, which makes you appreciate Mick's music even more, because he went a little extra step in creating these tracks. Not just pumping out yet another generic hard riff for some random no-name video game. Of course, I did make sure to collect them all too. Also, the game features cheats as collectibles. Oh yes. So many games fail to provide fun additions to the game, it's rare to see these kinds of cheats and let alone as collectibles. Back in Doom 2016 I did try to look up some console commands and really there aren't a lot of them, making you wonder why would they even include a dev console accessible to players. But here you don't need that, you got all the tools you need to literally fuck around if you want to. But best of all, the Slayer gates. These I simply could not get enough of. Even playing on the hardest difficulty, I felt like Eternal lacked something compared to 2016, and these Slayer gates fulfill that non-stop. Move, shoot, kill, maim, eviscerate, explode and tear. The music hits the spot like in 2016, the demons appear everywhere, and it's pure bliss and a challenge. Only wish there would be more of it. After you're done with collectibles, there are some wonderful options available. The options menu is quite extensive. Well, not to serious Sam 3 levels, but still quite good. Besides your typical performance setting, controller stuff and whatnot, there are also accessibility features for the colorblind too, which I don't talk about as I don't have the condition, but it's always nice to see. Then there are also different rendering modes that completely change the look of the game. It's silly and whatnot, which is nice to see. Rare to see a game with quite this extensive options, which I love. My personal favorite is the performance metrics that, in combination with a 1000 frame rate limit maximum, allows me to use the game as a benchmark to see whenever I end up tinkering with my Threadripper or RTX 2080 Ti if what I did was an improvement. For PC Master Race enthusiasts, this is a great game already. Now, for all the good things that Doom does, this would not be the hypercritical review now, would it, if I did not take my stick and beat mercilessly the face in of the Doom Slayer. For all things that Doom 2016 did right, Doom Eternal failed almost all of them. Because of course, then there had to be a sequel. Now, if you tell me that it's not fair to consistently compare Eternal to 2006 game, just think what Eternal is and why is it the way it is. If not for the wild success and massively positive response on 2006, I doubt we would have Eternal at all. It would be like Doom 3, which for all of its faults had a great intro music, which kinda started the marriage made in heaven or hell between Doom and all things metal. And I guess music is a great place to start with this. Coming out of 2016 Doom, you expect the music to hit at the right times, and going back once more, in 2016 version, I noticed that yes, the music hits when you pop the Gore nest, which is a really cool effect. However, that was lacking in Eternal, and it was the first thing that stood out to me. After that, I noticed that when there was an intense moment, unlike in 2016, the music did not follow oftentimes. It felt like it was a step behind. And even when the track hits, it just did not feel as interesting or cool as they were in the first game. And that was the thing that I noticed a lot in my first play session. And he manages to hit you way more. Oh, yes! The music doesn't last as long. I don't know. Not the best addition, in my opinion, but oh well. Music is starting properly. Alright, let's go. Even though I'm on slow goop, which... Okay, I don't know about you, but the music is not... Or rather, the music hasn't been done proper justice, in my opinion. You know, the encounter is so short, if you will. Yeah, the music is so short. It just doesn't feel quite right, right? All I can say is that something was just off. Granted, music was still fitting and good. This is the music I was waiting for. While I'm moving about. But that was pretty much the only time I found myself actually liking the music outright. Now, where the music mixing may have failed me, the sound effects, well, those I can tell you are really good. Back in 2016 Doom, I could endlessly critique how shotgun looks and sounds like a toy. The machine gun is boring, and the rocket launcher is the most uninspired thing I've ever seen or heard. But here in Eternal... Oh yes, that's the best! Oh my, yes! Now, I did say that the weapons looked better and now sounded better as well, making the starting two guns so lovely. But when I picked up the plasma gun... Oh, we got a plasma rifle, and this is the new plasma rifle. I hate it. Yeah, it looks like a classic plasma rifle. I hate it. I like the Doom 3 one. After Doom 3 introduced this new take on plasma rifle, I literally fell in love. It was such a perfect change to mark the new era for Doom, and while 2016 version looked like a toy, it still was a really cool take on it, and I still love it dearly. In fact, it is my second favorite weapon. But here, well, yeah, this is where I started to realize what Eternal tried to do. Yes, the pandering is strong with this one. And just like a TV show that runs for a long time, when you start to run out of material, you start to insert fan service. And oh boy, did it swing the panda around. Starting right away with the health pickups being changed to the classic blue water in a flask, then reverting some of the demon designs to old school color schemes and designs like Soldier, Mancubus, Cyber Demon and Cacodemon and more, while the 2016 monsters felt more integrated in the world. But now with the change of colors and the world as well, it seemed like everything just became a bit more cartoony. This change in tone is not what I prefer, but not to say that it can't be done well. However, people had expectations coming from the previous game, so wildly swinging back to the past accomplishments is not a smart move. You see, 2016 Doom took the elements from the new era Doom 3 and pushed it a bit further in the modernism of the old play mechanics. But here with Eternal we're taking a step back, and it really looks like a cynical move to just eke out a little bit of that nostalgia crowd, as if this was a fucking Star Wars or something. However, there are new things like the hand, sword, spike, claw thing that is cool as hell, and the shoulder-mounted cannon instead of a hand-thrown grenade. Which, wait, I think I've seen this somewhere. Now this is just silly.
What? Well, isn't someone nitpicking my copyright? I'll see you in court!
But if you're on the subject of weapons, I want my gauss cannon back! The ballista is garbage! Unless of course you're doing a speedrun or something, though I do say it does look amazing. Funnily enough, exact opposite can be said about the chain gun. It looks like a toy, whereas 2016 version was pure bliss. Though both versions are overpowering and may be the best ones in the game. Save for the Gauss cannon and the big fuck-off guns. On top of that, the rocket launcher has been upgraded to actually usable state, so that's great. But returning to the Panda, the multiplayer granted is more fun and interesting than the deathmatch in 2016 that had new cool weapons, but nothing special. Here you got the old school sound effects that frankly got more jarring the longer I played, and for me is the main reason I don't play multiplayer. Now, with pandering also often comes hand-holding. The fact that bottomless pits don't kill you anymore right away like in 2016 is one thing, though you can argue that that's done because platforming now has become a thing. But then, there's my absolute worst hated thing. One up. Extra life. Oh no. Oh no. We have lives now. This smells of peasantry. My gods, folks, my glorious PC Master Race, folks, brothers and sisters, this smells of peasantry so hard. What has this become? Oh wow, there goes my extra life. Really? I hate it. No, I died, okay? I died. Right there, I'm not gonna take any fucking pity from the game. I'm gonna fucking reload like a man. Fuck the extra lives. Like, truly. That to me is just heresy. Right there, that's an absolute and complete fucking heresy from... No, I'm not picking that crap up. No, bad. Hate it. Okay, now how do I get back? Oh gods, what the actual fuck is this? No, seriously, what stupid thing is this? I really don't know what was the point of putting in this bloody feature, and I will refuse to ever use one. This feature feels so hand-holding, and in later stages you also get mastery coins to skip the challenges for weapon upgrades. Moreover, runes now allow you to just choose whatever you want. There is no challenge or importance when you get what rune, so after picking the ones you want first, why bother unlocking and searching for others? It all feels so hand-holding. And speaking of hand-holding, the constant tutorial game-halting pop-ups. Yes, you can turn them off, and I do recommend doing that, but when you first play, you don't know that the game will suddenly constantly stop the action to plaster your screen with the constant reminder to hit the enemy weak spots. If there is one thing that Doom 2016 taught us all, was that no matter what, the game would not stop the action and everything would be delivered to you organically. However, it feels like id drank the stupid and forgetful juice and did exactly opposite. Just why? This is bad! And to further the furthering of the hand-holding and catering to players, the Sentinel armor. Now don't get me wrong, accessibility of the games is nice, and I'm glad this one, unlike the fucking one-ups, can be disabled in menus. However, this is another thing that points to developer pandering in a smaller or bigger way. And then there were the pickups. I noticed right away as I jumped in Eternal, there was something off. Yes, the health pickups looked off, but when I saw the armor shards, I knew what was wrong with the whole game. For whatever reason, id decided to tone down the dark, contrasty shadows and deep, rich-looking health and armor pickups, as well as the majority of the game. See, the human eye perceives more saturated colors as brighter, even if they're not. However, what made the Doom 2016 look so incredibly cool was the contrast between the colors and shadows that were so reminiscent of Doom 3, in a good way. Now let's do a test. Look at this comparison and tell me which one to you looks better. I have no doubt that 2016 is your pick as well as mine, but why did id choose to desaturate and flatten the colors? Well, not sure, but maybe it had to do with someone complaining that they couldn't see shit. That's my best guess. And so, Eternal suffered and now the pickups look like barf. Also, the emphasis for Eternal now is placed on colors a lot. The monsters, weapons, pickups, and even the world. Everything that has a certain action assigned to it has a new color for it. And yes, in a game, that's how you distinguish things, in a way. But I have a feeling that id went too far and made these elements so out of this world that now the big purple pools of grape juice I just simply can't take seriously anymore. As I said, Doom Eternal has become a cartoon, which is not what 2016 Doom was. Also, you may say that 2016 took place on Mars, so contrasty look is to represent that. Well, okay, compare the hells then. Those should be about equal. Yet they're not, and that's my point. And you know what? I have a feeling that id thought that, oh, people like the arcade mode in 2016. Which, yes, was a cool way to compete with your friends, I give you that. But in id's mind, that may have been the key to good gameplay. And decided to make the whole game like that. Which, again, is not what made 2016 so good. The constant colors on screen and whatnot is borderline ADD levels of attention seeking. You see, 2016 strolled that super action line like a pro, never overstepping it, which unfortunately is what Eternal does on consistent basis. Now, let's take a moment and talk about skulls. The skulls are everywhere in Eternal. And you'd think that that's typical, right? The earth is taken over by demons and hell is basically that. It's satanic. Well, there are things that 2016 did right to show the demonic stuff, and then there's just endless piles of skulls that Eternal keeps shoving in our faces. See, Doom is all about demons and hell and alike. With that comes a specific kind of a style which 2016 captured near perfectly. While Eternal does a good job of marking out many cool things, especially those amazing vistas, the skulls are everywhere. Especially during the third mission, the cultist base. I don't know about you, but this brutality and heretic killing and this gorgeous metallic and gothic design screams one thing. Warhammer 40k! I shit you not! Take away the Doom Slayer character and Doom Eternal is the best, most amazing looking and playing and feeling Warhammer game, as you pound the heretics and Xenos and others out of existence. After realizing that, I just could not unsee this amazing potential this could have had if it was set in Warhammer universe. But anyways, back to the issues. The platforming. Yeah, I don't like it, but it works, so it's really nice. However, the dashing is a problem. See, because dashing is added to the game and your character can instantly increase the movement speed, the once perfect imps with their precise fireballs and other enemies, they become too easy to avoid and dodge. Dashing also ups the action tempo, which I really love, and best of times you will find yourself performing carnage ballet. It's so graceful, I really like it. However, other times the dashing causes enemies to require, let's say, a buff, or at least something that would make them threatening again. But no matter what you do with the AI, it does not compare to 2016 difficulty, only making them more tanky rather than strong. This especially I felt fighting the Doom Hunter bosses. And then there's this asshole! A cheating discount ripoff Dark Souls semi-boss. I fucking hate this enemy, and whoever thought that it would be a great idea to put it in. So here's a special message to you. So let's examine this pile of shit, shall we? At the time where every enemy in Doom games can be shot and damaged no matter what. Marauder has impenetrable shield, slows you down when he shoots, and if you fucking dare to bring out any weapon that has ability to shoot a lot of stuff, guess what? The fucking Gargoyle is coming out! So, not only you can't damage the fucker except for a brief telegraphed attack, but also you're limited to half of your armory. Fuck you! This, even by a boss fight standards, is bullshit and can go get fucked for all I care. Fuck you, fuck your dog, and fuck your face! Anyways, if you don't want to engage this stupid boss fight, do what I do. Use the grenades and detonate a rocket launcher to chip away at its health. This is way more consistent and easier than trying to play by the designer's super limited rules. And here's the thing, this enemy does not make sense in the game where you have been given such movement freedom. All of a sudden you're stuck in a small fucking room with the motherfucking dog biting your ass and slowing you down, then this cuntbag dashing and smashing you too, while you're begging for a little bit of health and looking for a respawning fodder demon to chainsaw. Fuck this in an eye socket! The story. Oh boy, here we go. In 2016, Doomslayer rises with possibly one of the best opening actions. Smashing the head of an anti-mask wearing Karen, proceeds to pick up the possibly most coolest pistol I know, and after some room decoration, puts his suit and tie on for an important meeting. Here we get an attempted exposition by Dr. Hawken, but right here, and later through the game, Doomslayer's actions speak only for one thing. Killing demons is the only way. Yes, the story tries to interject about 2 times, which are the screeching brakes on the fun, but overall the game has set the tone of telling the story as you pass it by, through little details in the world and maybe some audio logs, but never shoving it in your face. There is no second thought or deviation in Doomslayer's mind of what must be done. Fast forward to Doom Eternal. The voiceover is attempting the same opening line from its predecessor. Really what makes me sad is the voice actor's voice and tone is lesser.
They are rage, brutal, without mercy. But you will be worse. Rip and tear, until it is done.
Against all the evil that hell can conjure, all the wickedness that mankind can produce, we will send unto them only you. Rip and tear until it is done.
Anyways, it's been years since the Mars incident, and here, this speaks of the tonal shift.
How can this be? No man can pass through the gate. It is... This stops nothing. The sacrament of this world to the great Khan Maker will be made, and the energy will be restored once again. As it is written, from the souls of the non-believers, you will not save them from their judgment.
Oh! Cool! Yakety yak yak, yeah, I must kill you, I know, but I must do this badass stroll around you before blasting you in faces. Yes, I'm so badass. Like fucking really? Seriously? The real Doomslayer would not tolerate such tripe and nonsense. But okay, let's say those are holograms. We, the audience, don't know that. So either way you put it, it's a failed scene. But that indeed is the tonal shift. The game or its director feels like there is absolutely no other way to convey this crucial information like this, except for this truly idiotic scene. No, not at all. And thus the lazy storytelling begins as the story just keeps getting shoved in your face. In comparison, the 2016 Doom had a simple story, sometimes even delivered in a clever way, giving a little bit of that mystery to our protagonist. So what happened? Do you need a screenwriter to come and help you to deliver your scribblings on the screen, or what? And then there are some parts that feel edited or cut or something. Just here, take a look. Like the sudden teleport, or you call that masterful cinematic transition. I don't know what that is, but for a viewer, that's jarring. And what about this earlier?
There are motion sensors and artillery everywhere.
So cutscene must end with the Doomslayer looking like he gives as few shits as constipated air stewardess, but in a badass way. Yet in the level design, you have to turn around to progress through the level. Did no one catch this idiotic thing? It makes the Slayer look like he's more concerned to looking like Duke Nukem than actually getting the job done. Oh, but thank fuck for the extra item Betrayer tosses you, otherwise your dipshit ass would have walked back the way you came. And you know, even the ending credits are not as interesting as 2016. Thing is, Eternal tries to ape the good bits of 2016, even going as far as to use its music in a few places. As if to say, no really guys, I'm just as cool as my older brother. You don't need it. You are fucking amazing. Just in comparison, you suck. Oh, and I almost forgot. This now is a parody game. Yes, unfortunately it's trying to self-parody, which is kinda sad if you ask me. So in 2016 you had these in-jokes of haha, prepare for dinner at 10, work at 12, satanic ritual by 9. Isn't this goofy? This was never about shoving it in your face and rather a small detail. However, because this is a sequel, everything has to be turned up to 11 and those little jokes now resort by the end of the game into this.
Can someone kill this idiot, please? Lemmy is God.
Yeah, Doom is now a silly cartoon. Now, you can go over the top and have true humor, even if it's cheesy as hell. I mean, look at the Shadow Warrior 2013. Quite silly stuff, but behind that, there's always a grounded level that seems to be missing from Eternal, to make those jokes actually cute and nice to have. Now they are just obnoxious. Oh, and we're not done yet. I mean, what kind of a Latvian hypercritical cunt would I be if I did not take my favorite stick and beat all the juices out of this dead horse? Let's then start with the dashing. Yeah, I did say that I liked it and hated it. Without it, the game is a graceful ballet, but dashing turns it into, well, this. However, that's not the biggest issue I have. As I played through the first time, I noticed something. Something was really off. And I realized my guns are out of ammo all the time. So here's how Doom 2016 built its gameplay. You get guns, no reload, and enough ammo to clear the room with almost one of the weapons, just in case you're given an infinite ammo pistol when you do run out of ammo, and a melee attack that does enough damage to tenderize a zombie for a glory kill cutlet. It's even good enough to take on imps in essential ass-pounding hits. Ammo itself is spread across arenas and levels generously so that you never need to resort to using the pistol ever again, even though it's so pretty. But in a rare case where your arms tremble more than a grandpa on speed during an epileptic episode and manage to waste all your ammo, but you don't want to resort to the pistol, well, you get a motherfucking chainsaw that splits open any demon like $1 billion spreads open in your about-to-be fiance's legs, and out comes the jet stream of ammo. Also, depending on how many charges on the chainsaw you have, you may just use this tool to instantly deal with the demon. But speaking of the fuck off buttons, there is no greater one than the BFG. Instead of being being a gun like any others, it's now a life alert button that once pressed and deployed, all the problems magically disappear. But in case you still have managed to run out of ammo, the game will finally take pity on you and drop some from a defeated enemy once glory killed. Now, as for Doom Eternal, the ammo count is super low, which means that you will run out of it fast. This in turn forces you to switch to a different weapon, until you completely run out of ammo. At this point you pull out your chainsaw, which now automatically replenishes, and works as a substitute to the pistol. But there are ammo drops on the map, right? Well yeah, sure, but you won't really care about them. Also, melee now is downgraded so that no matter how much the Doomslayer fists a lowly peasant undead, no matter how much you want to tenderize its meat, it does no damage. I'm not kidding, melee is now useless, which also gets an upgrade, which is stupid, and only is really useful when you need to glory kill. Oh, also, a lot of enemies seem to have a higher HP entry for the glory kill. So basically you get a monster in a glory kill state and even shoot it a few times before it decides to die, which really was not the case in 2016 for most enemies. And because now you don't have the infinite ammo weapon, this means that once you're out of ammo pickups, the only way to get back the ammo is by using the slow recharging chainsaw. And just like in 2016 Doom, you can chainsaw bigger enemies with more charges. However, this means two things. Because the chainsaw is a massively crucial tool to continue doing the pew-pews, you will use it all the time. Thus, whenever you get extra charges, they will still be used on low-level fodder mobs. So you'll never want to or bother or even be able to use the chainsaw on the big ones as a last resort. Or that "fuck off, I don't want to deal with you now" moment. And second, this means that there always will have to be fodder enemies spawning in constantly as ammo pickups. Also, this means that unless you deal with the big fucker first, you ain't getting rid of the small ones. I truly hate this gameplay loop. Yes, from outside it sounds like more organic system and design, but in fact it's more restrictive and annoying, even self-defeating. I've seen some say that they don't like the pistol in 2016 and whatnot, but I'm sorry, it's the result of your garbage aim. Eternal, on the other hand, makes you run out of ammo constantly and forces you to swap weapons without the time to think if the one in your hand is the best one to dealing with a certain demon. Just shoot, dash, chainsaw, shoot, dash, chainsaw. Thinking about it even makes me sick. Barely any time to swap the weapon for the best one on the moment. No, just shoot!
And you can read all about it in my new book, Shoot, Dash, Chainsaw, available now on Horse Emporium.
And you know, the fact that melee is useless just makes me want to cry. Your melee right off the gate in 2016 Doom. See? In 2016, it was okay. It worked, right? You didn't need to whack the fucking asshole bazillion goddamn times before he becomes, executable. What the fuck, yo? How much can I beat the meat? Come on. Okay, let's do a punch off, huh? He's gonna kill me. What? Wait, hold on. How much can I beat the... How much can I beat the meat? But okay, now we get a new fuck off button weapon, the mighty sword. And I do like it, it looks kinda cool. Anyways, now this becomes the chainsaw's "I don't want to deal with this" substitute. However, it's very slow to use and we don't really need to cram more stuff onto Doomslayer, do we? It's like the designer thought. Oh, the Predator movie was so cool. Okay, let's add the hand blades. Oh, and then the shoulder cannon. Oh, and the power glove. Oh, and of course the dashing. Oh, and of course even more the sword from the last game. Yeah, that is just the toss and everything. And now for even more small nitpicks. I had written down a few things, and because this is a hypercritical and not a softball IGN, possibly plagiarized, review, I will tell you everything I have. Starting with the game's launch, on my first playthrough, after each cutscene the character would teleport mid-air, as if the Doomslayer was about to shout, "My people need me!" Also, I know that video game elevators are hard to code and make good without causing fall damage, but locking you completely in place like you stepped into a fly trap, while in others you don't? What's that about? Also, elevators are fun! Well, this is weird. Okay, so normal ground, elevator. I'm pressing nothing right now. Normal ground, elevator. Normal ground, elevator. What the f- An interesting and good nitpick, enemies now infight way more than in 2016. This gives the game's environment a bit more life, by bringing more death. Yeah! As for each time you pick up a new weapon, in 2016 the weapons were sitting there in the game world as a typical item. In Eternal, everything glows that is pick-upable and feels like it does not belong in the game world. Oh, and what about this? I mean, come on! And speaking of reusing things, how about the reused old Gore nests that in Eternal serve as Slayer gates? Not to mention that they are replacement for rune trials. Look at the shitty quality! Now, reusing assets can be a good thing. Some glory kill animations are a great case of how it's done perfectly, but there's also the lack of it. In 2016, whenever your Doomslayer is killed, by your incompetence of course, most times, whatever killed you would also animate killing you in different ways. In Eternal, I only found the Terminator reference death by lava. What the hell? But what about the new things? Well, all new enemies are really fun to fight. Well, except for this piece of shit Marauder. Oh, don't you dare feel bad for that son of a bitch! From the new ones, my personal favorite is the Gargoyle. However, because of the increased speed and dashing of Eternal, the old enemies that are ported in, like imps and especially Hell Knights, are less effective. However, to make Hell Knights not as shit, they had to inject the poor bastard with speed and several other narcotics to make him jump and move faster, which now feels kinda silly. Also, as the result of speed and cartoony visuals, while playing you don't feel it, but even as I viewed my own footage, in more intense moments, the game was a bomb explosion of colors, guts and pixels, so much that it was not enjoyable to watch. As for weapons, I mentioned I loved most visually, but functionally only Ballista failed, while the Super Shotty, on the other hand, the weapon I never liked. Now thanks to the meat hook, I love! Oh my god, it's great! Now for the weapon upgrades, those two for the most part are more fun and interesting to use, however others, like in 2016, are tossed aside and never really used. So here's a super quick list. Shotgun, grenade upgrade, better, automatic mode, better, machine gun, micro missiles, very slightly worse, scope, practically unusable, plasma rifle, heat blast, the same, microwave beam, better but still shit, rocket launcher, remote detonator, about the same, but because of the existence of this clown, more useful, lock-on, better, ballista, arbalist, better than the sniper mode, destroyer blade, worse. But as for the BFG, now because it counts like any other weapon and most of the weapons run out of ammo sooner, I tend to accidentally switch to BFG and use up that one shot I was saving on a simple pleb. In 2016 the BFG was perfect. It was a dedicated panic button that brought it out when you really needed it. Now as for the bosses, in both games they're kinda crap compared to the rest of the games, but in Eternal those are more interesting ones. And so are vistas, as I said before. But what I did not mention was the mountains. And if you look not too closely, they still look kinda cheap and bad. Why did I notice it? Well, the constant platforming, which I really don't like, started to get to me. It's functional, but not good. At best it's okay, and really the only two games that have somewhat interesting FPS platforming was Portal series and Mirror's Edge. Yeah, shut up, I like it. Another change I'm not a big fan of is the Eternal's hub area, the Doom Fortress, where after each mission you come to rest. I get it, it's a great way to show off the collectibles and make more immersive mission selection than from the menus, but it also breaks up the pacing of the game. I'm still not sure if I like it or not. Well, maybe it's both. But as for the UI, I really dislike the change, especially the upgrade screens for Slayer or weapons. It feels a bit too consolified with the hold to select features.
Wait, did I hear peasantry?
But the 3D map now looks really good. The first time a map in FPS game in a long time that has helped me. Oh, and I noticed in many places in my first playthrough that there seem to be some weird collisions in non-essential areas and some weird invisible walls too. Now, music-wise, I still prefer the 2016, but Eternal had some good tracks too, where Mick Gordon went out to even make the metal choir. I thought it would be more prominent feature in Eternal's music, but really only in Cultist Base I noticed it, and all others were very subdued. I personally would have liked more of it, that's all I'm saying. And finally, probably my biggest nitpick during my playtime, some areas seem to end very quickly. Since I play only on the highest difficulties, I can imagine easier ones being even faster. However, the action ends so soon compared to the gore-nest killing in 2016 that you don't get to enjoy the music. And I felt throughout the game that something was off, even when playing on day one. And yeah, this brings us to the part I wish I would not need to mention. But... So first again, I have to say to Mick Gordon, who dropped in my stream on the launch day, I can't tell you how awesome that was. Thank you. But as for the drama, Mick was apparently not the only person mixing the music, which could kinda explain a few things. Other fans also noticed that, and later on Twitter, Mick informed us about this. After which, executive producer Marty Stratton released a statement on Doom's subreddit, discussing the matter, and it became clear that Mick had not met the deadlines set for him. As a result, both parties have cut ties, and for the upcoming DLC, Mick would not be composing. Here I have to say that I try not to take any sides, as I dearly love both of them, and really it's a shame to see this divorce. And yet this was not all. The other controversy, screw up or whatever, came with the addition of De Nouveau. See, for Doom Eternal, De Nouveau is used to check the cheating and whatnot for multiplayer. However, the first patch, which granted was really cool, still introduced De Nouveau, which fans did not like. While developers claimed that it did not have any correlation to lower frame rates, it would be taken out on the patch too, and I quote Mr. Stratton, "Our decision to remove anti-cheat software is not based on the quality of the De Nouveau anti-cheat solution." Frankly, it was very vague, and to this day I really don't know what they meant. But hey, well, at least it's not here anymore. Oh, but on funnier note, did I talk about how Bethesda on the launch of the game distributed the game itself with DRM-free exe files? Oh yeah, that happened too! So what about the future? What of Doom Eternal now? Clearly we have some gaps in the story that need filling between the two games, or after the ending of Eternal. Well, a DLC is coming, and finding proper information has been a nightmare. But it still looks like it's gonna be a paid for, as there is 1 year pass offered on Steam, and yes, it's a season pass, otherwise known as pre-ordering non-disclosed updates, skins and other crap in most cases, which kinda smells of Bethesda, not it. So the aforementioned DLC, or was that a part of the season pass? Oh god, I'm sick of this shit! Anyways, the DLC should explain the events after Eternal, and apparently it will bring new demons and whatnot. Basically, more of the good stuff. Yes, please! In the meantime, we can play the battle mode that I could just not get myself into, or replay the main story and collect all the achievements, or those XP points? Well, yes, Doom Eternal seems to have gotten a bit live servicey with the weekly challenges that unlock... Oh, cosmetics? Also achievements unlock cosmetics? And it's a Bethesda published game? And you don't need to cough up another game's worth of WADA cash? Wait, what? so that you can enjoy the character and actually feel like not only you had the skill to finish the game or some other reward for it. What the fuck is this? How could a modern, let alone Bethesda published game be so unapologetically good and inviting and not cynically clutching for your money like a greedy piece of festering fucking demon abortion? You glorious angels, you! I just want to support you more, and you know what? As long as the DLCs have effort put in them, and not cynically grabbing my cash with reskinned garbage and whatnot, I will buy it. You see, this is how you make a good fucking game. The same as Witcher. You make an astounding and fun game. Then don't be a massive cunt and instead put in more effort in making the expansion, price it accordingly, and people will be willing to support your amazing work. Especially in this climate of festering cunt nugget developers and publishers. Why is this not a norm? Before I go into my final remarks, did you know that the guy from Latvia is still the fastest speedrunner for Doom Eternal? Yes, Zamid first got noticed for his 27-minute run, but while writing my script, the dude managed a 20-minute run. And as a fellow Latvian, I gotta say, show him how it's done! I'll link his stuff down below, so do go and check it out. Now, I've nitpicked and critiqued the living hell out of Doom, but some of you may point out that I did a lot of comparisons to 2016 Doom. Well, to repeat myself, I guess, this is fair and in fact necessary thing, because Eternal is a sequel and uses its predecessor as a jump-off point. It would be compared to 2016, and frankly, what a comparison point that is. So, I would have loved 2016 Doom, but just more of the same, like any fan would. But in a way, I'm glad that id chose to try and change it up and not be stale. However, that also came with the unfortunate result of failing due to just cramming too many things onto it. For me, really, the washed out pickup colors and more so the fountain of LGBT flag resembling chainsaw remains did make for a lesser experience for me. On top of that, the music was just off, and while I liked the increased tempo, which curiously enough I could adapt to, the game also lost a bit of itself, not to mention the verbal diarrhea that is the story. And here's the thing, after all that paragraph, it sounds like the game would deserve a mark of 5 to 7 out of 10 or something. Now, while I will not give games marks like that because they are too simplistic to truly reflect the value of it, I can tell you, even after that, Doom Eternal, to me, is very, very, very good. And I go by the movie Whiplash kind of standards. It truly is a remarkable game that not only stands on its own feet, but is also a shining beacon of hope in this infested, rotten pile of shit that we call modern gaming industry. Sure, it's not as good as 2016, and even that game was not perfect, but we really are at that realm where better things don't come often. A place where different walks of life games meet to sit upon thrones of near perfection for everyone's admiration. I love what id did with the Doom, despite my nitpicks. In fact, this whole feature length thing is one big pile of nitpicks. So, thank you, Doom. Thank you.
There's the camera. Come on. What? Well, it looks like someone's infringed. Ah, damn it. Fuck. Live acting, ladies and gents. What? Well, isn't someone come trap?
Блин, байк тупит.
Okay! Marauder has left the house, everyone! Woo! I think I broke the boss. I broke the boss! Yes! Oh my god! I broke the boss! That's it! Oh no! Oh no! Jokes. Nope.
Whoppers! And you can read all about it in my book. Cut. And you can read all about it in my book. God damn it. Dramatic. Pause.
Breakdance! Woo! Hallelujah! Hallelujah!